Hi everyone, this is Victor here. Welcome to the Intelligent Investor channel. This is a stock analysis video about MercadoLibre stock. A Patreon member asked me to make a stock analysis video about MercadoLibre stock because the stock dropped as much as 12.37% year to date this year. MercadoLibre is the largest e-commerce marketplace and payment platform in Latin America. It is known as the eBay of Latin America. Now you may ask, is MercadoLibre stock a great company for long term? Is MercadoLibre stock undervalued now? What are the risks we should know about? And what is MercadoLibre's fair intrinsic value per share? I'm going to answer these questions in this video by covering these topics. First, I will talk about what is MercadoLibre's business model. Then I will talk about what is MercadoLibre's short-term prospects. Third, I will talk about MercadoLibre's two long-term growth catalysts. I will also talk about MercadoLibre's risks we should know about. Then I will talk about what is MercadoLibre's intrinsic value per share. Then I will talk about, am I going to buy MercadoLibre stock? If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. I will continue to make many excellent stock analysis videos every week that will help you become a great investor. Also, if you like this channel and want to support it, check out my Patreon blog in the video description and become a VIP patron. You'll be able to see all the latest stocks I'm buying for the long term, and you will also be able to download the latest intrinsic value calculators for all the stocks I'm analyzing, so you will know when a stock is currently overvalued, fairly valued, or undervalued. Take a look, let's start. So what is MercadoLibre's business model? MercadoLibre is the largest e-commerce marketplace and mobile payment platform in Latin America. It operates in 18 countries in Latin America, including Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela. MercadoLibre's most important marketplace and payment businesses are in Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. As of first quarter 2021, MercadoLibre earns 94% of total revenues from Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. MercadoLibre has many businesses including e-commerce marketplace, fintech such as lending for buyers and merchants, payment solutions, logistics, and advertising. MercadoLibre's main business is still its e-commerce marketplace that is very similar to eBay's marketplace. MercadoLibre doesn't own most of its inventory. Instead, it operates as an online marketplace that lets users to buy and sell products in 18 countries in Latin America. Now, this is very different from the online retailers such as Coupang of Korea and JD.com of China. These online retailers need to buy most of their inventories to sell to customers. This simply means that MercadoLibre has a much higher gross margin compared with the online retailers. Now, MercadoLibre's second most important business is its fintech business called Mercado Pago that provides payment and money transfer solutions to buyers and merchants. It lets users and businesses send and receive payments. Mercado Pago also lets users invest directly within their Pago accounts. This is very similar to China's Alipay platform. MercadoLibre has a credit business that provides short-term loans to both merchants and consumers. It has a logistics business called Mercado Envios that provides fulfillment and logistics services for all its sellers using its fulfillment networks and logistics partners. Its Mercado Shops business lets users set up their own online web stores under a subscription-based business model. MercadoLibre also has advertising services that help retailers and brands market their products and services online. In this video, we will focus on MercadoLibre's two most important businesses, marketplace and fintech. So let's talk about MercadoLibre's short-term prospects first before we talk about its long-term growth catalysts. As of now, MercadoLibre is still in the very early growth stage. It has very high revenue growth rates each year, but it's not profitable yet. I want to show you some of the highlights from the most recent Q1 2021 quarter. It shows MercadoLibre is still in the very early growth stage. In the first quarter 2021, its unique active users grew by 61.6% year over year to 69.8 million. Gross merchandise volume GMV grew 114.3% year over year to 6.1 billion. Total payment volume through Mercado Pago grew 129.2% year over year to 14.7 billion. Net revenues grew 158.4% year over year to 1.4 billion. Operating income was 90.8 million compared to a loss of 29.7 million in the same period last year. And net loss was 34 million. All these financials show MercadoLibre has very high revenue growth across all its businesses, but it's not a profitable business yet. Now, in the short term, I believe MercadoLibre will still focus on growing its businesses first instead of focusing on making profits. This is very similar to Amazon's growth strategy in the beginning. Personally, I don't think we should expect MercadoLibre to have consistent net profit anytime soon. Here is one interesting thing you may want to know. MercadoLibre bought 7.8 million worth of Bitcoin in the first quarter 2021. According to this article, MercadoLibre released a Bitcoin-only platform that lets users buy real estate using Bitcoin in certain cities. This is only a very small business, so it's not going to affect MercadoLibre's business in the short term. Now let's talk about MercadoLibre's long-term growth catalyst. I believe MercadoLibre's first growth catalyst is its e-commerce marketplace business in Latin America. As of now, MercadoLibre earns most of its revenues from its marketplace commerce business. It earned 66% of total revenue from its commerce business in the recent Q1 2021 quarter. If you look at this GMV and items sold growth chart here, you can see MercadoLibre had very consistent gross merchandise value GMV and items sold growth in the past several years. These two metrics are very important because MercadoLibre earns commerce revenues based on a percentage of the gross merchandise value. Now, as long as MercadoLibre continues to have increasing GMV, increasing number of items sold, and increasing number of merchants, then we can expect MercadoLibre's commerce revenues will continue to grow for many years. Now, MercadoLibre's marketplace business has benefited a lot from the current pandemic that started in 2020 because consumers in Latin America are forced to buy things online using the largest e-commerce platforms such as MercadoLibre instead of going to retail stores. MercadoLibre is well known in Latin America and is the largest marketplace there. So I think it is natural to many consumers to use MercadoLibre's marketplace first before using other e-commerce platforms, since MercadoLibre should have the largest number of merchants and the most product listings. According to this e-marketer market research here, Latin America is predicted to have the fastest retail e-commerce market growth this year. If you look at this forecast here, e-marketer predicts that Latin America will have very strong e-commerce growth in 2021 and 2022. eMarketer also predicts that e-commerce in Latin America will continue to grow steadily and gain a large percentage of total retail sales throughout 2021 to 2023. Now, eMarketer estimates that e-commerce as a percentage of total retail sales is only 6.2% as of 2021 in Latin America. This is much smaller than the US 15% and China's 52.1% e-commerce as a percentage of total retail sales in 2021. This means MercadoLibre's e-commerce marketplace should have a lot of growth potential because I believe consumers will continue to shift their purchases online even after the pandemic's over. In terms of e-commerce competition, MercadoLibre is actually far ahead of its two closest competitors, Amazon and Americanas, in Latin America in terms of visits per month. I will talk more about this later on in this video. MercadoLibre also offers free shipping services to buyers, so I believe this is one of MercadoLibre's biggest competitive advantage. I believe MercadoLibre's second long-term growth catalyst is its Fintech business. Now, as of Q1 2021, MercadoLibre earned 34% of its total revenue from its Fintech business. If you look at this chart here, you can see MercadoLibre's Fintech business total payment volume (TPV) and number of transactions had been growing steadily in the past several years. Again, MercadoLibre has benefited a lot from the pandemic that started in 2020 because many more consumers are using Mercado Pago to purchase items either online or offline, to borrow short-term loans, or to send money to other people. This is why you can see there was a huge jump in both total payment volume and the number of transactions in 2020. Personally, I believe more consumers will continue to use Mercado Pago's payment platform even after the pandemic's over because it's well integrated with MercadoLibre's marketplace and because it offers installment loans to buyers as well as loans to merchants through its credit business. MercadoLibre's management wants to make its Mercado Pago app into a financial service platform, so not just focusing on payment solutions, but also providing credit credit lending, investment, insurance, saving products, credit cards, and debit cards to consumers as well as businesses. This is very similar to Alipay in China. Management said this in the recent earnings call to show how they will increase the user base in Mercado Pago app. We have around 60 million users on the commerce side that we increasingly cross-sell and try to get them to also download the financial services Pago app, so their bare-bone payments functionalities in the yellow commerce app. And increasingly, we will try to drive those users over to the financial services app through cross-linkage through promotions. And that's where we are aggressively focused on expanding the amount of financial services that they use from us. At the end of the day, if you look at long term, the real potential in fintech goes way beyond payments and into the distribution of the other forms of financial services, credit, insurance, asset management, saving, and all the products we have, and we're now focused on growing. Just to show you MercadoLibre's lending business growth rate, this is from the recent Q1 2021 earnings call. I will provide a performance update from Mercado Credit. In Q1, our portfolio surpassed 575 million, more than doubling our volume versus the same quarter the previous year. During the quarter, we originated over 582 million, and our consumer credit portfolio continues to drive growth in all geographies. Other than payment services, I believe micro-lending and short-term loans have the biggest growth potential for MercadoLibre's fintech business. This is because buyers often need short-term installment loans and credit lines to buy items, and because small and medium-sized businesses and merchants often need short-term loans to grow their businesses. Of course, this also brings more risk to MercadoLibre because these short-term loans can often become bad debts and have much higher default rates. So other than this credit risk, let's talk about other major risks we should know about. The first major risk we should know about is that there are many uncertainties in Latin America that are outside of MercadoLibre's control. Latin America has many risks including political, geographic, economic, high inflation, and foreign exchange rate risk. Latin America is made up of many developing countries that do not have very stable financial systems yet. Here's the important thing. MercadoLibre earns all its revenues in local currencies and reports all its revenues and earnings in US dollar. This means if the US dollar strengthens, or if the currencies in Latin America, especially Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico, depreciate relative to the US dollar, then MercadoLibre's revenue will have a large impact because MercadoLibre reports its financials in US dollar. The US Fed is expected to raise interest rates in 2023 or even earlier depending on economic data. Then we can expect the US dollar will likely recover more compared with the Latin America currencies. Now, many Latin America countries have very high inflation rate. For example, one of MercadoLibre's largest markets, Argentina, had a 48.8% inflation rate in May this year. Latin America currencies would depreciate a lot if the inflation rate is high, or if there are political unrest, or if their economies are not doing well. I believe MercadoLibre's second risk is that it has a large amount of debts on its balance sheet and that the company is not profitable yet. So if you look at MercadoLibre's most recent balance sheet here, you can see it has a large amount of long-term debts, 1.66 billion. This is in addition to the short-term liabilities the company already has. And if you look at MercadoLibre's income statement, you can see it had an interest expense of 91.3 million. Which should be mostly from debts. This was slightly more than the 90.8 million operating income as of March 31st, 2021. So in comparison, management said the company had 1.2 billion of cash and cash equivalents and short-term investments as of March 31st, 2021. Personally, I would prefer the company to have a lot more cash instead of having too much long-term debts. All this means is that if interest rates increase, the borrowing cost for MercadoLibre will be higher, which will make it harder for MercadoLibre to achieve consistent net profit in the long run. Also, if MercadoLibre cannot generate enough operating cash flow, just like in the recent Q1 quarter here, then we can expect MercadoLibre will either issue more shares or issue more debts to finance its growth. I believe the third risk is competition in Latin America. According to this article here, there are three major players with the largest visits per month. MercadoLibre is the market leader in online commerce in Latin America in terms of visits per month. MercadoLibre is actually much further ahead of Amazon and Americanas in Latin America. As of now, I believe the only e-commerce market company that can compete with MercadoLibre is Amazon in Latin America. Amazon is mainly an online retailer with its own marketplace. I do not live in Latin America, so I cannot predict whether Amazon can overtake MercadoLibre in the future. But personally, I think it will be very hard for Amazon to overtake MercadoLibre in Latin America because MercadoLibre is already very well established there. Now let's talk about MercadoLibre's intrinsic value. First, I define MercadoLibre's intrinsic value as its future cash flow discounted to the present day. Let me show you my intrinsic value calculator here. If you want this calculator, you can download it in my Patreon blog in the video description. It will help you estimate the company's fair intrinsic value per share, so you know when a stock is overvalued, fairly valued, or undervalued. Now here are the key assumptions. According to Morningstar, MercadoLibre's past 12 months of operating cash flow was 1.01 billion. Now I have to use MercadoLibre's cash flow from operation instead of free cash flow to estimate its fair interest value per share because MercadoLibre is still in the very early growth stage and because it does not have consistent free cash flow growth yet. We are using a discount rate of 15% because I believe MercadoLibre has more risk in Latin America. This is compared to the 22.3% WACC rate from Finbox.com. Personally, I think a 15% discount rate is more reasonable. The discount rate is very subjective depending on the company's risk. Generally, we should use a higher discount rate if the company has more risk. If you want to be more conservative, then you can use a higher discount rate. The cash flow growth rate will be between 30% and 50% CAGR each year over the next 5 years. I believe this is reasonable. I calculated the internal value at the end of year 5 using the average of both the perpetual growth model and the exit multiple model. Now let's go over each of these case scenarios, the worst case, the normal case, and the best case scenarios. Under the worst case scenario, we're using a compound annual growth rate of 30%. If we project MercadoLibre's cash flow to the next 5 years and then discount it to the present day, then its intrinsic value as a whole company should be around 45.1 billion. And if we divide this by the shares outstanding, then its fair interest value per share should be around $905 per share. This is comparing to $1,468.06 per share and 73.19 billion market cap as of June 18, 2021. Now, under the normal case scenario, we're using a 40% compound annual growth rate. If we project MercadoLibre's cash flow to the next 5 years using the 40% CAGR and then discount it to the present day, then MercadoLibre's intrinsic value as a whole company should be around $64 billion. And if we divide this by the shares outstanding, then its intrinsic value per share should be around $1,285 per share. This is comparing to $1,468 per share and 73 billion market cap as of June 18, 2021. Under the best case scenario, we're using a 50% compound annual growth rate over the next 5 years. If we project MercadoLibre's cash flow to the next 5 years and then discount it to the present day, then its intrinsic value as a whole company should be around 89 billion. And if we divide this by the shares outstanding, then its intrinsic value per share should be around $1,787 per share. This is comparing to the stock price of $1,468 per share and 73 billion market cap as of June 18, 2021. Personally, I believe the normal case scenario with a 40% CAGR is more reasonable. I believe MercadoLibre's fair interest value should be around 64 billion as a whole company or $1,285 per share. Of course, if MercadoLibre's future cash flow growth rate is higher, then its fair interest value will also be higher. So am I buying MercadoLibre stock? I actually bought MercadoLibre stock in March last year when the entire US stock market dropped as much as 30% during the peak of the pandemic. This is why you see this gain here. Now, I will likely buy more MercadoLibre stock if it drops below its fair intrinsic value, so there will be a good margin of safety. Based on my estimate, I believe MercadoLibre's fair interest value is around 64 billion in market cap or $1,285 per share. Personally, I like to look for outstanding businesses for long term with increasing earnings and increasing economic moats each year. I also like to buy their shares only when they are either fairly valued or better undervalued. Now, all these are only my opinions and my estimates based on my research. Make sure to always do your research and do your extra due diligence first. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. I will continue to make many excellent stock analysis videos a week that will help you become a great investor. Also, if you like this channel and want to support it, check out my Patreon blog in the video description and become a VIP patron. You'll be able to see all the latest stocks I'm buying for the long term. You will also be able to download the latest intrinsic value calculators for all the stocks I'm analyzing, so you will know when a stock is currently overvalued, fairly valued, or undervalued. Thank you for watching this video. This is Victor from the Intelligent Investor channel. I will see you in my next video.